Hey all, and welcome back for another round of HellfireComms Patreon TV comms. Today we are going to be checking out the finale to the massive CW superhero crossover Crisis on Earth X. And this time it's the turn of Legends of Tomorrow. And if you don't know what that is, I'm essentially going to spoil the first season. So be advised, spoilers are incoming. Time Master Rip Hunter, played by, if you'll allow me a second or two, Arthur Davrill from Doctor Who. He was Rory, so it was. I know my stuff. Rip Hunter goes rogue after Vandal Savage murders Hunter's family. Intending to stop Savage, Hunter recruits a team consisting of Ray Palmer, the Atom, Sarah Lance, the White Canary, Martin Stein and Jefferson Jackson, who combined to form the hero Firestorm, who we've dealt with in Crisis on Earth X, Kendra Saunders, Hawkgirl, Carter Hall, Hawkman, Leonard Snart, who's Captain Cold, and Mick Rory, who is Heatwave. They discover that the Time Masters are backing Savage in his domination of the world in 2166 to facilitate a successful repulsion of a Thanagarian invasion. Due to Snart's sacrifice, the Time Masters are destroyed. So I guess they just manage time and whatnot.
Yeah, pretty much. They just go around fixing the wrongs of time and just making sure that shit doesn't hit the fan too hard.
So, if you recall back to Crisis on Earth X Part 3, Martin's in a pretty bad place right now. The enemy has a very Legends of Tomorrow-esque ship that can travel through time, and there's like Nazis and whatnot bumming about. I'm gonna be honest, you probably could have done the story without the Nazis, but that's just a nitpick. You know, you could have just called them Baddie McBaddisons, and it would have had the same effect, really. Alright, Volker, are you ready to conclude Crisis on Earth X, mate?
Yeah, we've had a bit of a build-up towards this one, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this all ends.
Okay, guys, if you need help syncing our audio to the copy of the media, which obviously we can't provide for copyright reasons, check the video description. There are instructions and also unique metadata for each video, so you can find them more easily online. Here we go. Crisis on Earth X. Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 8, according to this video, in 3, 2, 1. Alright, here we go. We're just straight on into it. No fucking cold open.
Well, we remember what happened the last time. Unfortunately, Martin Stein ended up getting bedeaded. And what does this mean for Firestorm, I wonder?
What does it mean? He was working on a thing for the other dude to give him, like, individual powers, I think.
Yeah, it was the whole thing where they were sort of making a nod to Spider-Man, but not Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Red Tornado's here.
Oh yes, that was also a thing. And the guy who kind of looks like Nova but isn't Nova but is called Ray.
Yeah.
So what are we expecting from the conclusion? I can only assume that the Supergirl surgery is not going to go down as planned, although they'll probably do the whole close but no cigar thing, because you know what these things are like. They like to bring it down to a razor's edge.
Now, I think this Snart is the one from this universe. I'm not sure of the specifics and whatnot, but Martin, save your strength, mate. No, I must be a hero.
Oh yeah, I remember a scene like this in a PS2 game I played way back called Digital Devil Saga, where they have to press the lever and he literally gets impaled, and it's still like, no, must push lever.
Oh,
it was a very heroic moment.
Jeez, why do you need those, like, voice digitizers and whatnot? Oh god.
You know, I think it's probably because the Nazi regime, just in case things go a little bit awry, they use the voice filter so they can't be identified, so they can just live a quiet life after
logical.
the fact.
I enjoy that, yeah.
But yes, to answer your question from before, this particular Snart is from Earth X, and he is in a relationship with Ray in this one.
Okay,
and
yeah.
There are a few things I think will happen afterwards. I did catch a glimpse of it whilst I was looking up my research on the Legends of Tomorrow, but we'll just see how it goes. I'll just say that.
Damn, got him.
I thought they were like recreating the Tree of Life then for a second. I was just like, what the hell spiritual bullshit is going on here?
Well, at least we nuked this version of Red Tornado. I'm not even sure if there is one in the, like, proper world/universe and whatnot.
There probably is. I mean, I think there's meant to be multiple Red Tornadoes, because Red Tornado gets busted up quite frequently. At least if Justice League Unlimited is anything to go by.
Yeah, oh, there we go, motherfucking Firestorm.
So, I'm partly wondering what will happen if Stein dies whilst he's inside Firestorm. Like, will this create, like, the whole alter ego thing that we're kind of used to, where... I don't know how familiar you are with Justice League action, but you sort of, like, have Stein's head kind of floating around, and he kind of has the whole schizophrenia thing going on. So I'm wondering if that will probably be how his character evolves after the fact, because I'm not sure if Stein's going to survive this.
I have watched a few episodes of action. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's not a bad show. It's not like a patch on Justice League Unlimited or anything, but if you want just like a nice cartoon to have on, you could do a lot worse.
Well, I actually have quite a few favourite scenes from that, but one in particular is with Superman and Firestorm, where he keeps transforming the kryptonite into different forms of kryptonite, and it keeps having adverse effects on Superman, so, like, the black kryptonite splits his personality into a good and an evil side, and then there's, like, not the usual green kryptonite, and then in the end, he transforms it into pink kryptonite, which turns Superman into a really buff woman, and he just beats the crap out of Metallo, and then he finally gets the kryptonite formula right, and then transforms the kryptonite into lead, thus ending the turmoil.
Oh, it was Atom all along, and he is here now, punching. How could you not dodge that? Aren't you meant to be super fast?
Well, these speedsters have a strange habit of forgetting their speed powers in moments like this where they're just taken completely off guard. It's probably a trope somewhere, but you know how this sort of thing goes. No! I forget my speed! Oh no! Here, I'll go through this window.
It's called jobbing, Volk, is what it is.
Fucking jobbers. Something I know all too well from the wrestling days that I used to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this is Ray Palmer. He is the Atom. And there's actually an interesting story between him in Justice League, where Ray Palmer actually creates a device which Vandal Savage ends up stealing to bring about the end of all humanity, which results in him basically living out on Earth entirely by himself. And he goes slightly insane, and he makes himself his own house with self-help books and what have you. And Superman actually gets transported through time by, I think it's the Puppet Master, and he meets up with Vandal Savage. They have a conversation, they have to try and get Superman back to his own timeline. And then he says, as he's sending him back to his own timeline, there's a scientist called Ray Palmer who will invent the device which will cause me to do all this crazy shit and destroy the world effectively.
I don't know who they are. I'm just going to pretend to be impressed. I think I've watched that one. Is that the one where, forgive me if I completely glossed over stuff you were saying, but where Superman's in the future and he has a beard and whatnot? Yeah,
that is exactly the one. Vandal Savage, you may know him as the immortal caveman bloke, who's basically been around since more or less the beginning of humanity because of a meteor or something like that, I believe. And basically he's just lived through the entirety of human history.
He's a very fun character on Justice League and in general, but we must actually focus on this now. Are you reading off your notes verbatim? Oh yeah, Ollie is actually undercover right now. He's pretending to be the Earth X version. I think.
I'm not sure, because as far as I'm aware, oh no, there he is. He's in his usual garb. He was in, like, the standard issue uniform earlier, but...
yeah, that's what I'm getting it confused with.
I get the feeling, Evil Arrow only has one specific uniform.
I see what you mean about this version of Metallo, by the way. Dude needs, like, a metal burger or something.
he needs, like, some more substantial armor plating, really. But then again, you've had some versions of Metallo that were, like, ridiculously chunky, so I can't be too mad at this one, but still, I feel like there's something missing about his overall physique.
Okay.
Yeah, pray he doesn't remember what you said to him at the wedding in this universe.
I don't think he's impressed by that, Volk.
I thought I was going to say those were pretty poor, but, you know, he likes to give credit where it's due, I suppose.
Oh, shit. Metallo's like, fuck this.
But I was just like, wait, this was supposed to be my moment. What the fuck's going on?
I get all dolled up in this fancy CGI for nothing.
And here comes the heavy cavalry, rather.
Oh god, the carbs! They're bringing the carbs! Get them!
I'm amazed it's taking this many dudes to take out Metallo, to be honest with you. He's usually the sort of guy that Superman would have problems with, sure, but put him against, like, any other, like, big superhero, and he tends to go down fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm. Are you putting on a voice, Ollie? Are you trying to be Batman? Do you have Batman envy?
I'm pretty sure he does that whenever he takes on the Green Arrow persona, so I think it's more of a force of habit than anything else, because he is talking to essentially himself.
Yeah. Got him. That was really annoying. Why do I even wear this suit?
So they may have pretty much solved the problem with the Supergirls, I guess, but there's still the small matter of the Nazi time-traveling spaceship that's going around.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. A good point, even. What a fucking strange statement.
Yeah, are we gonna sort out this marriage thing now? Because, you know, I kind of saved everyone's bacon. It's just like, yeah, but we could do that, but there is the small matter of that thing.
You could just walk. There's no need for this. Oh, it's affecting him as well.
Well, yeah, this is part of the deal. It's a package deal. If you merge with him, you're gonna get his powers, you're gonna get his injuries as well. So, although, there's something to be said that maybe in doing that, he may have inadvertently saved him by majorly inconveniencing himself. At least I hope that's the case.
Yeah. Hugs.
It's quite nice, though, that they seem to be getting a moment's respite. Well, not exactly the Firestorm duo, but, you know, everybody else is sort of having an odd moment to kind of collect their thoughts, assert their characters, evolve, as it were. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting ready for the big payoff, and I hope they don't keep us waiting too long.
Yeah, we'll see. Can you give me some fucking clothes, please? I'm tired of being like a friggin' hospital patient over here. I mean, I'm used to wearing dresses and whatnot, but I have tights in this universe, so...
And spandex. I want my spandex back. Fuck these scrubs.
Not a superhero without spandex. You know, when I look at this guy, I can't help but think of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's like an odd mixture of like Drax, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Bill Goldberg.
Jesus, a three-way fusion that no one asked for.
He's just like that standard sort of, I guess, British-ish tough guy. Drinks loads of beer and just headbutts people for fun.
No. Aww, the opposites died.
Yeah, it was a tragic incident, really. Someone mistook him for Vinnie Jones, and he kind of ran out into the street trying to get away from the crowd. Terrible, really.
That's one of your better jokes in recent memory, honestly.
Thank you.
Kind of like shit, honestly.
Kind of like I've been stabbed, shot at, burned, and possibly even beaten up once or twice. But, you know what? Other than that, I'm fine. You know, I might get these spider powers after all, but, you know.
Speaking of silver linings.
It's like, yeah, it could be worse. He could have came up with that formula before, came up with it afterwards or whatever. Just, like, died, didn't even leave any superpowers for him. It's all about finding that silver lining.
Pity. Yeah, it's not a permanent solution.
No, and there's always that danger he'll take himself out along with Stein if they're not careful.
There must always be a firestorm. You don't want Deathstorm. That's a bad thing.
Yeah, and you can't have Ice Storm. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nicely.
Deathstorm is an actual character, by the way.
I figured it probably was, although I'm not as familiar with him.
How did it go? It was during Blackest Night, like, one of the dead came back and, like, fused with, like, the Firestorm dude and basically controlled him.
Oh, very nice. You know, thinking about it, I really do want them to do, like, Blackest Night as a proper movie. There's so much potential in that.
Honestly, like, a series like this would be fine, because I feel it's better to have it anthology-based and whatnot, instead of just, like, 1-2 hour movie.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, even as sort of like an animated movie, it could possibly work as well if they kind of made it into, like, a multi-parter, perhaps. But I always liked the idea of Blackest Night. I mean, it's not quite Marvel Zombies balmy, but it has a serious undertone to it, and the idea of the Black Lanterns always kind of appealed to me.
Yeah.
Stein's just like, yeah, coughing up blood ain't very fun, is it?
Nope.
You owe me, damn it. Give me one of your lungs. What the hell was that? Stating the obvious much. It's just like, hey, I'm dying. Yeah, what's been the past hour? We kind of get it.
Oh. I mean, he's old at this point, and I don't mean to be heartless and whatnot, but out of the two, I think Jefferson has a better chance of becoming a better superhero.
Yeah, there's something to be said about being smart, but there are a lot of savvy people in the DC universe. I mean, a lot of them went to the side of villainy, like Lex Luthor and what have you, but I don't know, actually, because it seems like all the smart people tend to be villains, because apparently they don't have enough to do with their free time.
Hmm. God, I hate that kind of reductionism, especially when it's, like, got a brave face put on it.
Yeah, especially when you start talking about the cosmos. I can't
Jesus.
think back to that one Tim and Eric sketch, which is like, well, if you put, like, the entire universe into a bag, and you put all the stars in there, you just get, and it's just, like, 30 seconds of silence as he's trying to figure out what the fuck he even said. If you ever get the chance, that skit is very good.
Drink it. Drink it! Oh, bless this lad. He is acting his little heart out.
He is.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just blue. It's just blue cherryade.
But this is like the last vial of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. We have to replicate it. Reasonable request if there ever was any.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, this is tugging the heartstrings a little.
A little bit, yeah. I am affected. My blackened heart is blooming a flower, so it is.
I mean, you don't even necessarily need to know a lot about Firestorm, the character, to appreciate the bond that they have over just this special, really.
Yeah. God, I didn't expect it to happen that fast.
No, neither did I.
And this
I was
is
kind of expecting him to save it, sort of like the whole tragedy in the face of absolute victory thing, but I guess they're doing the tragedy part first in this case.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of in her shoes. I'd be sort of thinking, wait, if he's dead and you're alive, wait, how does that work?
Yeah. Although this isn't really the time for science.
No, a man just died. You have to be respectful in these matters.
Mm-hmm.
But it still begs the question of what's going to happen to Jax in terms of his superhero-ness. Is he going to be able to partake anymore? Like, what's going to happen?
I don't know. If it happens beyond this episode, we haven't been commissioned for anything like that just right now.
I feel like that would be something they'd probably cover in this specific episode if they were going to cover it at all. Otherwise, you'd probably just assume that he didn't, and he just kind of becomes a civilian or maybe an advisory person of sorts.
Yeah. Like, where do we even go from here? Do we sit around and grieve, or do we finish the mission? We haven't really got a choice.
Yep, you have to finish the mission. I mean, otherwise you're just gonna have the whole thing repeat itself.
Oh no.
Poor dude.
I'm glad they know what headshake means in this context, but I guess they always knew there was a risk of him being out there at all doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably something that all superhero types have to go through, just that inevitability that they could die on the job. So, as much as they try to prepare themselves for that to potentially happen, once it does, like, it doesn't make it any less impactful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, with all this technology and what have you, couldn't they have just made, like, a synthetic heart or something for her? I mean, surely that's not something that's outside their boundaries. Like, I understand that she's a Kryptonian and what have you, but surely they could have spent some research and resources into that. But then again, I suppose the easy route of just organ harvesting across the multiverse just carried that little bit more Nazi twinge than being the mad scientist that cobbles together like a clockwork heart of some description.
I'm assuming it's because they're on a time limit that they don't have that luxury.
Yeah, I suppose so. And the guy with the T on his face, that is Steel.
No, that's Mr. Terrific, you silly.
Is it Mr. Terrific? I thought it was Steel. Oh, yeah, of course it's Mr. Terrific. He's actually the guy in Justice League Unlimited who takes over from John Jones' post at the Watchtower, sort of delegating jobs to people. Yeah, I get the two mixed up for some reason. I have no fucking idea why.
I mean, he has a T on his face and he's not in a metal suit of armor, so...
Yeah, that probably is the giveaway. I'm just being dumb.
Wow, got him, Ollie. Fucking shut that Nazi down.
I'm liking the group shot, though.
Oh, yeah. You said Infinity War was the hypest crossover ever, the most ambitious. You ain't seen Crisis on Earth X.
Well, this predates it, so this was kind of just like, yeah, let's just have everybody here, and then sort of Avengers was like, hold my beer.
Yep. Hell yeah.
The Nazis broke the rules, so now we must commence the pulling out of pubic hair, as was written in the Tenacious D lexicon.
Oh, okay, I was wondering where you were going with that for a second.
What, you don't remember that 1 minute long song that they had in their tribute album?
No, I haven't listened to the tribute album. I've listened to most of the Pick of Destiny.
They've got some kick-ass songs in there as well, but I'll always remember where it all began.
Really? Like, props for doing your job and whatnot, but still. Oh, here they come.
This is very akin to sort of Civil War, except everybody's on the same side.
Yeah, oh, Ollie, you look like a child in a playsuit sometimes, but, God bless you. Also, I meant fucking, Barry. Sorry, I get my E's mixed up. Volk's not the only one.
That's alright. He does it for me so that I don't look as dumb.
Oh no, guns. Jesus Christ, however will we combat this menace? I'm glad we don't have Arrow's cinematography for this. It already looks 100 times better.
But I can't help but think that in these big fight sequences, you sort of like see those people sort of awkwardly bumbling about, saying, okay, who am I shooting at? Who am I trying to hit? And it's just like a guy comes on, yeah, come on, have some of me.
Yeah, oh my god. Bit much, but they're Nazis, so...
Well, that's shut that conversation down quickly. But it's always a bit weird seeing Snart being the lawful good character of sorts. Like, he's always been... I would say maybe chaotic neutral would probably suit him a bit better.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he's not avertive to committing the odd act of villainy, but when the going gets tough, I mean, he'll protect the planet. He just wants his Star Trek fantasy, but let him have it.
So, this is the Legends of Tomorrow ship. What is it called exactly? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Well, we know it's not called the Nebuchadnezzar, because that's the Matrix.
Nebuchadnezzar, yep. That's, named after the king of old, so it is. Right, the Nazis' doomsday device is a time ship called Wellenreiter. I believe it's called the Wave Rider, the Legends of Tomorrow. Well, that's a good name.
Wave Rider just reminds you of something like you see on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
It's like Wave Racer, but it's like the more extreme version.
Is this lad, Sportsmaster?
I think he is. He looks like him.
I'm more used to him in a villain capacity, so I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like you ain't vibrating through this beatdown.
Do we have to specifically fight on top of the car? Yes, that's what we do.
I feel like Supergirl is holding back. She's just sort of figuring out, yeah, I'll just shoot a few lasers, you know. I don't want to completely trounce him. I want to give him a chance.
Well, she's the Captain Marvel of the group, except with a personality, a charismatic actress, etc.
I always did like her character in Justice League Unlimited, especially, sort of being the younger character, still obscenely strong, but she's kind of learning the ropes and kind of working herself into Kal-El's, I guess, legacy, or maybe just his general ethic.
I agree. Yeah, having her like be a bit younger in that one kind of paid off, I think.
Yeah, having Green Arrow there is sort of like a mentor of sorts as well, outside of, obviously, Big Blue himself. And then you just had the Question who occasionally hung around and just sort of goes, yeah, I'm just sort of like rooting for your trash so I know exactly what sandwich you eat, but it's fine, it'll all pay off in the end, don't worry.
Now, I'm assuming the chick with the jewellery, I'm trying to avoid saying the black chick here, please. The one with the yellow is Vixen. I'm not sure who the other character is.
I'm not entirely sure either, but you are correct. I believe that is indeed Vixen, the metahuman whose superpower is being able to replicate the athletic and physical ability of any animal she chooses. Which makes me to wonder what would happen if she decided to replicate a penguin one day. But of course, they'll probably never do it because that's just silly.
Yes, stupid. Very, very silly and stupid.
It's just picturing Vixen sort of like flapping her arms around being all hunched over. Phasers on full with a spread of photon torpedoes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Why are speedsters so fucking cool as a concept? I think something with Sonic just unlocked that, I don't know, like, dopamine burst in my brain as a child, and it's never gone away.
I guess it's just because of how they demonstrate, like, the sheer amount of adrenaline that comes from just doing things insanely fast. They wouldn't normally be able to, because, you know, you see people fly around. These guys don't have flight, but they find a way to improvise. It just looks so much more awesome because of it. And Can I just say, you got Supergirls hitting each other in the air and doing all this cool laser shit. You've got the speedsters going around doing all these crazy slow-mo shit. And then you got the two Green Owls just clubbing each other around the face with their bows. I feel like Arrow got the short end of the stick on that one.
No, I'm good and you are bad.
So no, we need you for the Flashpoint paradox. It's gonna make us millions, damn it!
I'll kill billions, thanks, Barry. You can run from me, but can you run from your guilt?
And I guess that's that. I'm surprised he didn't just go, yeah, what's stopping me from just continuing to do evil shit?
Well, I guess they gotta leave some plot threads for the actual Flash series.
Or maybe they just had to accept that they were kind of in a stalemate and just had to think, well, eventually the other two are currently going to end up winning, so you should probably vamoose before that happens.
Yeah. Throw you into fucking space where you can explode as much as you like.
Except I think in this case, don't do what they did with Superman and fly directly into the sun, because I feel like that explosion would have caused the death of the entire solar system.
Yeah.
Trust Ollie to get the job done where the doppelgangers couldn't. Flash was like, I'll just let you go. Supergirl, I'm just going to explode now. Green Arrow? No, you're just dead, mate. Don't even worry about it.
Just starts burning up in the atmosphere.
You know, at least she's more graceful in terms of getting exploded on than Superman tends to.
Are you thinking about, was it The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 or Part 2?
Yeah, Dark Knight Returns part, I want to say 2. It could be 1, but the point is anytime he suffers a big explosion, he'll usually survive, but as a result, he'll be kind of all shriveled and gnarly, and he has to get his power back by taking the sun.
You know, I feel I may have been subconsciously judging this on like a movie level, and that's really unfair to everything, especially with the budgets and whatnot. For a TV thing, I can imagine myself really enjoying this watching it live.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as you can almost think of it kind of like a made-for-TV movie. It works very, very nicely.
Yeah, this is weird. But nice. Weird nice.
Barry's definitely not used to that. Don't be doing that with a snart back on your world. Well, of course he's dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's just like Stargate SG-1.
Yep. I figured Captain Cold was going to stay behind. There must always be a cold. Achoo.
Think of it like a vacation.
Yeah. I promise I won't bang your doppelganger out of loneliness.
So, I can probably safely say this now that the actual thing between Snart has been settled, but apparently at some point he does come back to his original time, and he does, reunite with Ray and what have you, so...
Aww.
It'll be a happy ending for old Snart, and he gets to have some wacky adventures in Earth 1.
Metaphorically, though, not physically inside my head.
Well, not as far as we're aware. It's just like, joke's on you. I edited the formula.
Imagine if that was like the cliffhanger or whatnot. Like, he looks in the mirror and he just sees mine.
Just like a floating head. It's just like, wait, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up. You did what you could, lad.
Yeah. Oh, the feels! Again, though, metaphorically.
Of course, big tough guy has to blame it on the allergies.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like rain, but it's not raining. Yep, definitely rain.
Awful day for rain.
We say, as it actually is raining.
Is it round your way, or do you mean in the show?
I mean in the show.
It doesn't seem like it's raining, but then again, this is like sub 360p quality we're watching at, so... Could be raindrops, could be artifacts, we'll never know.
The greatest mystery of this whole adventure. It starts as a hug, then more beers, and then before you know it, you're back into bed again.
And then hug becomes fug.
Indeed. Ah, it is love. It makes me sick. It's not nearly enough beer.
Well, away they go. I would have liked to have seen Rip, whatever his name is, but I haven't really looked into his character, so...
Yeah, I imagine probably something happened over the course of the... because this is in Season 3, technically speaking, so...
Yeah.
There's probably a lot going on that we don't know about. I mean, we know that Constantine probably popped up at some point. Apparently in Season 4, he comes back and actually helps him out on a more regular basis with all the magical and supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he is the expert, and everyone else probably not so much. They just do the occasional do-goodery.
I just realised Brandon Routh played Ray Palmer in this episode, and so wasn't he fucking Superman? Yeah, he was in Superman Returns.
Oh, okay.
I remember going to the cinema to see that. I think Ollie deserves that one.
Yeah, I think Ollie gets a freebie. Just don't make a habit of it, whatever you do. Just randomly abducting some dude. Hey, wed us, damn it!
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, you could have just stopped for a second. You, wedding, now, please.
Nauseous, but honoured.
Still very, very nauseous. Please don't do that again. This is the most ghetto wedding I've ever seen. Show off. He's trying so hard not to buff right now.
That's the most ripped minister I've ever seen.
He really is. What is it, minister fuckers? It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna lay the beat down on the demons whilst officiating your wedding. He's like part of a fitness group, Gains for Jesus.
Alright, Vogue. The joke is past. It's fine. Let's just watch on as these two wonderful children get married. But not literal children, just in the sense of innocence.
Barry does look like he's fairly young, though.
Man, Captain Cold was working early.
It's just like, oh, I got a hilarious prank I can play on this chick. Hell yeah.
Aww. I'm a sucker for schmaltz.
Indeed, indeed. Although it's quite nice that we sort of started with Flash and we're ending with Flash. Even though I would have liked to have seen some more Legends of Tomorrow flavor thrown in there for the Legends of Tomorrow episode. But I guess they are treating this as a package deal, even though they have an episode for each show.
I am too afraid. Let us wedlock. Put a giant band around us, Minister. I only have the little one, sorry.
Sorry, you gotta keep me on the straight and narrow. I don't want to end up on this Nazi bullshit myself, alright? Yeah, alright.
Oh.
Nice and simple.
What a wholesome ending to this, like, action-packed arc and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did have the bittersweetness of Stein dying, but this is a nice way to tie things up, I think.
No.
Imagine if there's like a line for me. Hey, could you do us too?
Yes, the shit is lit. They are married on the CW, no less.
And now to stand around awkwardly for half an hour.
Yep. Man, you guys really don't need air. Are you sure you're not superheroes or something?
No, I just have lots of money. I have elongated lungs.
God damn it, Ollie. God damn it. Alright, guys, that was the conclusion/finale of Crisis on Earth X. A pretty good one, honestly. I felt that episode tied all the other three together and put a nice little bow on it. I'm gonna be honest, like, out of all the episodes here, I couldn't tell where the Legend of Tomorrow started and it's, like, stopped. Which wasn't the case with, like, Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, etc. But that's more me not watching all these shows. So there were some finer details were going to be a bit blurry for me. But that was one of the stronger episodes of this batch, I think. Arrow was the weakest, just in terms of how it was shot and whatnot. Which would you say was your favourite role?
I would say either this one or probably the third one, to be honest with you. Like, number 2, there were some issues with the shooting, as you said, and as far as actual content is concerned, it was fairly milquetoast. There was a lot of talking and not really a huge amount of people actually fighting each other, whereas in the first one, you kind of had that big scrap during the wedding to kind of hold you over. In the third one, you had Ollie doing his best Solid Snake impression and taking out people there, and then you had the fight towards the end where Stein would eventually meet his end, and then you had the big climactic finish towards the end as well in this one. So I feel like 2 was the only one that was really sorely lacking, and as you mentioned before, there's something you have to be really careful with these sort of like TV things. Like, you really want to, so bad, to treat it as a movie since it does span across a good couple of hours or so. But it's not a movie production, and you have to kind of treat it as such. And on that perspective, I say apart from episode 2, overall, the entire thing holds out very well. I actually quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I agree. I was feeling a bit lost a couple of episodes or so in, but like I said, this one, with the really fucking schmaltzy, sweet ending that I'm a sucker for, kind of just, again, tied everything together. And I'm rambling right now, but I very much enjoyed this. So thank you, Marcio, for allowing us to check this out. And I'm not sure if we're going back to Arrow at any point. I'm just going to scroll down the list and see if there's, like, any of the CW here. There is an Arrow episode, and it's in May's lot, so we might be able to get to that before you head off, folk.
Maybe so, although I won't make any promises. We'll just see how it goes. I do remember he wanted to try and get some Arrow stuff in there since they announced fairly recently that the show would be coming to its end in its 8th season, I believe. So he'll probably want to throw in some of like his best hits of Arrow and see what we think of them.
There we go, mate. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to help support HFC, hit up the Patreon, pledge on the level that works for you. There are a ton of good perks and whatnot, like even commissioning your own TV comms. And after the pay cycle for May's gone out, I'm going to be setting stuff up. And in June, you will be able to pledge much more easily for TV comms and whatnot. I'm going to be adding new slots and so on. So yeah, thanks for supporting us, Marcio. Thanks for you guys checking out these comms and whatnot. And yeah, we'll see you next time for another one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.